Frankly, I could make an entire stream. I could just do that all stream. I could just play director and have Clark just positively boogieing down to the Valhalla soundtrack and be completely satisfied with that being the entire stream tonight. I could do that, but oops. I could do that, but I'm not gonna, because I think that would be really fun though. Maybe I'll start a side channel that's like Clark Nightclub, you know, Tony's Funhouse dance group, and just vibe out, just have old Clarky Poo vibe out. But unfortunately, right now, you're stuck with me. So, sorry. That was fun, though. That was way more fun than it should be. I had to, like, plug my controller in so I could, hang on. I want this very much gone. I want no music ever for any reason, however, at all. Okay. Yeah, Clark was goddamn boogieing, dude. So, I guess I'll give you your crack. This crack is sponsored by Pepsi, because I had a shot of coffee earlier, and that can I had already cracked the other night. I finished up that coffee that I opened. Oh shit, there's no traffic cone, man. Oh. There he is. So it was disgusting, by the way. I hate coffee. I really do. I would rather drink motor oil. So yeah, I'm just chilling out. No big loud tonight. No huge comedy. Just vibing, just chilling. Doing a little bit of grinding because it's what I was gonna do anyway, so here I am streaming it. And just doing some cat chat, you know? I got a couple things that I've been wanting to do. I've just been, you know, as I have free time, grinding out GTA. Torino red. See, finally, somebody paints their shit a good color. I may be a little hyperactive because I did just shoot like 110 milligrams of caffeine. So I may get a little wacky crazy, but you know, my heart rate will be fine. Competition hood. Sunstrips. Oh, that's nifty. Orangutan. I thought that said wangatang. I thought I was trying to take the piss out of Wu-Tang. You know, this isn't a terrible looking car. It's not great and not really what I would choose, but that's the beauty of this sort of thing is I don't have to choose it because I'm not driving it. I mean, I'm driving it to deliver, but it's not going to be my daily car. So there are cars that I want, but the main thing that I'm saving up for right now is I want to buy a mansion. I think Clark deserves to have a mansion. So you'll see, this is more money than I've ever banked at any given time. I've like, I think $6 or $7 million, and I need like 13 or 14 for a kitted out mansion. Not fully kitted out, but kitted out how I want it. I want to be able to provide me and the boys a place to live. So an $11 million mansion seems like a good place to do that. 11 million plus 2 or 3 million, because you know what, let's figure out. Once I deliver this car, we'll find out. There are also like 100 different cars that I want, just because I got bored and was reading through shit. And I'm like, oh damn, that's a cool car. Oh damn, that's a cool car. Oh damn, that's a cool car. So, you know. I got a couple things. I'm grinding out for money, I'm grinding out for LS Car Meet rep, and I'm grinding out for something else that I'll show you. But not yet, because this screen takes dog years to go away. Ugh. That was not good coffee. It is lingering. So I'm gonna sip some more Pepsi. So, what I need to do is they have these like career challenges now. And I'm really close to rounding out the Agents of Sabotage one. I just need to grind out, I think, like between 15 and 20 more of these sabotage files, and I'll get this nifty truck for free, and I'll get money. A small money injection. So that's kind of what's been driving me. I also, the reason I'm grinding out LS Car Meet reputation is just because they give you special prices on like cars on the website. So right now I'm just prioritizing money for the mansion, and the mansion is very expensive. I forget which one I was gonna buy. I think it was this one. Or maybe it was this one. This is the $11 million one, but it's kind of far away. But also I don't really give a shit about the distance because I got a goddamn jetpack. And none of these are particularly close to my central area, so... I mean, granted, you know, $1.2 million apart from the least to the most expensive. I may just split the difference and go down the middle. And I guess I can always buy it and then, like... I think I liked this pattern, yeah. Special decor. Obviously want a car podium and I want an arcade. I don't really give a shit about...
How do you do, sir? I am Haviland.
Hello, Haviland! Okay, so I need around 7 more mil. More. So, I got a ways to go, but, you know, I'm chugging along. Thankfully, you know, I've been keeping up with business stuff, and I really made the right choice in investing in a bunch of shit early. Because now I have noticed a significant increase in the amount of, you know, fake online monies that I've been making. I'll come back after doing a couple missions and go, what, Jesus Christ, wait, where did I get this, like, extra $600,000? And hell, dude, I remember when, it's been a long time ago now, like maybe 2015, when I played this on the good old PlayStation 3, where it was a challenge to get $100,000. I think one of the most expensive cars in the game was like a flat million. I'm like, oh my god, so much has fucking changed. Now I'm about to spend between 13 and 14, or between 14 and 15 million dollars on a mansion. I'm also gonna be away this weekend, so I'm playing now while I can. We're going up to northern Georgia to visit with Hunter and to watch a baseball game. Trying to figure out the most efficient thing. What fun? Yeah, it will be fun. It'll be a grand old time. I promised that I would make them crunch wraps, so I gotta remember to go out before we leave and get supplies to make crunch wraps. Okay, so I'm trying to coordinate what the best method of money grinding is. And unfortunately, it was very fortuitous, because last week, like, while I was gamering, because this is what's been filling my time. I have been, doing this and coordinating school, which has been a fucking nightmare. I only today figured out that, you know, I got accepted. The application that I put in for financial aid, they're like, oh yeah, we looked at that like 5 days ago, and yeah, it's all good. Oh, cool. Thanks for telling me, because I've been sitting here waiting a full fucking week. And now, you know, I'm gonna be away over the weekend, so I can't, I'm gonna have to probably shoot out an email tomorrow going desperately hat in hand like, hey, financial aid people, can we coordinate a meeting for next week? Because, you know, the federal shit bonered and didn't send me an email confirming that they had seen my application like 3 days ago. So now it's the weekend. I know you guys are going to be out of the office, so hopefully, and I'm going to be out of town, so hopefully we can coordinate something for next week. so I can actually get like my student loans so I can afford to go to college. But thankfully, once I get that squared away, I will be completely done with all of the admissions processing. I've been registered, which was also an ass pain. I have, you know, slightly, mildly, somewhat networked with my my soon-to-be professors, so like they know me, I know them. I can reach out if I have problems. So once I get this complete colossal hemorrhoid ass pain out of the way, I will be able to just relax for a little bit and know that I'm all registered. I'll be able to pay tuition when tuition time comes. I'll have to figure out, because I think I only qualify for a certain amount of money that won't be enough. Oh, that's right. Okay. Hang on for just a second. I gotta write this shit down on my whiteboard so I don't forget like what I have to do. So let me real quick just plop down that I have to... 1 second. This shouldn't take long. I just have to... This is where I put my to-do list on the whiteboard behind me. So... Alright. Just a couple more steps I have to do, and I have to put them up there because if I don't, I will forget. There was something kind of important I missed. Shit, what was it? And it's, you know, it's the string around the finger situation where by virtue of writing it down, I'll remember. I don't have to check the whiteboard to know what I have to do. I'll remember it, but I have to write it down to remember it. What a funky psychological phenomenon that is, right? So I wonder, I could run Cayo Perico. I actually have a little more setup to do before Cayo Perico.
Yeah, just run me over.
Okay.
It's balls to the wall.
Oh, all right.
You mind?
You want me to whoop your ass? You asked me to run you over, but I'm fine whooping your ass too.
Internet loser.
What'd you call me? Huh. Huh. Come on. Come on.
Down with this shizzit, homie.
Come on. Huh. 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 I'm not dressed like Kasuga Ichiban just because it's cute. Huh. Huh.
Public access, bitch.
Huh. Huh. Buh. Buh. Public access, your nutsack. That's what I fucking thought. Hey, he started it. Talked about how stimulating multiple senses helped with learning. Probably connects more neural shits. Yeah. Honestly, that's about as academically as I could describe it. So, props to you. I don't know if physical action correlates with mnemonics. I don't know if mnemonics is just like verbal situation, but it's all like memory whatever.
Let's go. Get in there.
Hey, I'm just here to do some work. Neural pathways. The brain really is interesting, isn't it? I would love to be able to set that to just never on. I wonder, you know what? Hang on. Let me check and see if there's a way to set radio to just never on. I don't want to turn the music slider all the way down, damn it. Whatever. I'm kind of pissed because I meant to go out today, but slept too much. I went and bought I purchased a bicycle, and I was going to get a helmet because I would prefer to live a little longer. And as much as I like to tempt the universe, I would prefer a glorious brutal death, not just a stupid brutal death. So I'm gonna wear a helmet. As dorky as bicycle helmets look. But I'll admit, I bought it from Walmart. We got a bicycle shop in town, but I bought it from Walmart because I had a gift card that I wasn't gonna use anywhere else. Because I don't like really shopping at Walmart. That gift card left over from my birthday. I'm like, I haven't used it in 4 months or 3 months, so whatever. And the only bike helmets they had at Walmart were like youth helmets. I'm like, yeah, look, bro, I had a fat head when I was a kid. I had to wear adult helmets when I was a kid. Ain't no way this was fitting me now. So I am probably still gonna have to go to the bike shop in town and be like, yo, can you hook me up with a reasonable helmet? Or just go online. Like, what I want, and I probably admittedly won't find this at a bike shop, but what I am hoping for is a skate helmet. Because, like you said, funnily, I want to put stickers on it. I want to put my own stickers on it, and it's hard to put stickers on a bike helmet. It's a lot easier to put stickers on a skate helmet.
You looking for a bike?
Also, I want to get a skateboard because I want to improve my balance a little bit. So if I do end up getting a skateboard, you can skate, or rather, you can bike with a skate helmet on. You can't skate with a bike helmet on. That shit don't fly.
It's our duty to confiscate it all.
I wonder, you know what? Damn, I gotta find an artist who does custom stickers, and I gotta befriend them because I've got so many great ideas. But like, the stickers that I want to buy, nobody's gonna make because they're so like, I don't want to say niche, but they're certainly not the sort of thing that you would find at a convention, because convention-wise, it is kind of niche, you know? The chances of finding a quality Fist of the North Star sticker at a convention are higher than finding it in some other places, higher than if you didn't go to a convention, but still not super high. It's like the difference between 1 in 300,000 and 1 in 275,000. Like, technically it's smaller, but I haven't seen any Fist of the North Star art at all at any of the conventions I've been to. And I've been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. Yeah, wait. 1, 2 in 2023, 3 in 2024, 2 in 2025. So, 7 conventions. And God, MomoCon is coming up, and I'm so fucking tempted to go. The problem is I don't have money, and I have a tendency to spend money when I go to conventions.
Time to liberate some felonious assets.
Excuse me, who the hell are you assholes? That's my car.
Holy shit.
Yeah, holy shit indeed. Yeah, you're going down, Buster. Yeah. What about you? Hey, it takes a real man to know how to suck a good cock, all right?
Is out. They know you're coming for them.
Come on. A real man's not afraid to pleasure his friends. He's not afraid to jerk off the boys. God, I always hate seeing the real man does this, because first of all, it's a logical fallacy. a rational like reason. It's a fallacious reasoning is what it is. You know, a fallacious argument. I think it's called, in the textbook I read, it was like the no true Scotsman argument, which is like the, if you're a real man, you don't, you know, wear pink or whatever. Like, first of all, that's retarded. You're retarded. And secondly, that is fallacious reasoning. I'll give you some fellatio reasoning. How about that? We can work it out one way or the other. I feel like a real man doesn't tell another real man what to do, you know? A real man doesn't give a shit. A real man is loving and accepting regardless. Decide what it means for yourself, exactly. A real man doesn't tell other people what to do. It's not to say you can't give your opinion, but, I mean, if you don't got nothing nice to say, you should shut the fuck up! But if you don't, I'm not gonna say that makes you less of a real man. I just think that makes you an asshole. That's why I try to, you know, unless I'm being an asshat, I will usually, like if I'm having a serious conversation, if I'm playing it up for comedy, I'll usually say whatever. But generally speaking, if I'm talking about what a real man does, it's usually, I try to make it a reassuring thing. Like, a real man's not afraid to cry. I cry like a bitch. But, you know, a lot of that is in my, my nurture. Thankfully, my folks never really made me worry about being who I am. You know, I've got some extended family members who probably wouldn't approve of some of the shit that I do, but I don't give a shit what they think. And that's what being a real man is. Alright. I don't know if it's better money-wise for me to grind out these, or, you know, we'll just do Vincent, because that's where I'm already headed. Another thing that's important to note, and I know for a fact I've talked about this on stream. According to one of the greatest psychological scholars, period, of any time, to be a truly happy person, to be a truly fully functioning person, you must embrace both thy feminine and thy masculine side. I don't remember, I think that... Shit, I can never remember which is which. It's the anima and the animus. It's, you know, Jungian shit. And anybody who says Jung was a nightmare, or was a dumbass, I got so many examples of, like, daily conversational things in terms of, like, daily psych concepts that you use that came from Jung. And I can go, well, I mean, if you accept this, then you kind of accept some of Jungian psychology, I'm just saying. I may be talking out of my ass. In fact, I am only maybe like 15 to 20% sure this is true, but the whole alpha male thing may have come from, maybe somehow tangentially related to, Jung's archetypes. But even then, you know, don't accept that shit, because the name of the another thing that I'm confident I've mentioned on stream, that guy, whoever pioneered that, like, after doing more observation on wolves and shit, he's like, hey, so that was just not true. I have done more observation, and I have come to the conclusion that that is not true. That is not how wolves operate. Now, see, human beings are interesting in that we have sort of a manifest destiny thing going on, where, like, if we accept something like that, then we can make it true for ourselves. Does that make sense? The problem is, what I've seen of the whole, you know, alpha, sigma, beta, omega, poopus, goopus, male sort of shit.
Okay, let's find that laptop.
I'm sure it works for some people, which is great. I mean, that's one of the fundamental things of humanistic psychology is like, oh, if it works for you, cool. But I want to make it very clear that just because it applies to you doesn't mean it applies to everybody else, which is also a fundamental concept of humanistic psychology. So, saying, you know, I'm gonna act like an alpha male because that's what women like. No, buddy. No. No, pal. Foolishly take psychological theory as some sort of medical prescription. I think so, too. One surefire way to get a woman's panties wet is to tell her what a waste she is. Now, I know of some women for whom that might work, but only if you're particularly close and, not every woman ever.
I'm gonna fucking cry.
Well, at least he died doing what he loved, playing Galaga. We should all be so lucky. God, I'm dying to go to an arcade. It's part of the reason I was kind of tempted to just say fuck it and go up to Atlanta for a day by myself to go to MomoCon. Is I just want to go and be out amongst, you know? I'm really itching to get back into psychology, and honestly, I wanna read more theoretical shit, because as much as I know about the different theories of psychology, frankly, the schooling that I got regarding the different theories is like scratching, like surface scratching shit, very crash course fundamental. There's all sorts of, and I took some specialized classes on like spiritual transpersonal shit, but like I still don't know much about that. I know that there's a lot of different theoretical magoogas that I don't know dick about. Hell, I don't even know that much about transpersonal shit. I know a good bit about, you know, humanistic, because that's the school that I go to. It is a humanistic psychology school.
He deactivated the last one we stole, so we've got to
I forget the best way to get in here.
bring down the drones to
Like
bypass
this.
security. I heard this guy's been living out here on the DL. Not easy in a truck stacked with so much tech. It has its own gravitational pull.
I'm gonna teach you an interesting psych thing. I don't know how common knowledge this is. Hell, I didn't know it when I learned it, so it was new to me. So, do you ever notice how you know, sometimes
Pay the terabyte a visit.
there is, okay, so say me. If you're exposed to me when I'm not streaming, if you know me as like a general person, I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty laid back. I'm pretty easygoing. There's not much that gets truly through to me and like shakes me.
Other fun besides. Proficient as usual.
That hasn't been quite as true
Have access to the train.
lately, just because,
So we'll need
well, I'll get to that.
coordinates with you now. You'll just need to find the
But then there's also people who, like, that same amount of stress, something minor, wouldn't stress me out too much. I wouldn't lose my shit over. I wouldn't, you know, I hate to say keep it together, because that kind of has a connotation that the other lifestyle is wrong, but it's not something you can, it's not something you can have complete control over. But suffice to say, something that affects me, a stressful situation that affects me, might affect another person differently, and they may react more strongly to it, because stress is not the only measurable factor in how you react to a stressful situation. There's also something called diathesis, which is, so think of it as like, damn, it's been a while. This was from my first semester, which has been like, I think 3 years ago now, 2.5.
Where you gonna go now?
Well, I'm trying to kill this bozo. So there's this thing called diathesis, which everybody has a certain amount. And I don't really remember how to spell it, but I think it's just diathesis. DIA thesis. So diathesis is basically like, I think the metaphor that my professor used was like, imagine a cup, and you know how water and oil don't mix? So imagine a cup that is like half full of oil, and then a cup that is 80% of oil, 80% full of oil. So the oil represents diathesis, that is resting in your brain, right? And then you add water. You add, say, 30% of the cup's volume in water. Well, that one cup is fine. It's gonna go up to 80% and it's not gonna spill. But that other cup that has 80% oil in it, 80% diathesis oil, it's gonna overflow because it can't handle 30% stress water, right? So you can manage your diathesis, but you can't completely control it. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, you know, how do you do that? I wonder. I would sit in class when he talked about it and go, I wonder how you manage your diathesis. And of course, it's the same answer as managing stress. It's just, you know, mental health practice. You know, you do that and your diathesis naturally decreases. Where's this last? You know what? He's probably not gonna be able to get to me. So yeah, you know, you want to keep your diathesis down basically so you can handle more stress, but you also want to relieve stress so it doesn't compound into latent stress or more diathesis. Stress and diathesis is a very interesting thing to me. And sometimes I randomly remember like concepts, because that came from AbPsych. Sometimes I randomly remember concepts from AbPsych, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should go read through my notes, and then I don't know where my notes are, so I can't. You want to learn more? I can't teach you anymore because I don't know any more about it, but I do recommend you look into it. I don't know where that theory comes from. I don't know who pioneered that. I don't really know. I don't have any readings to recommend, basically is what I'm saying. But it shouldn't be hard to find. I mean, stress and diathesis, you plug that into Google and I'm sure you'll find something. Another really interesting concept because I'm interested in, and it's sort of a paradoxical thing, but I'm interested also in like diagnostic psychology. So AbPsych was really fascinating. And I certainly don't think it's quite like, you know, it's not like a math problem where you have the same answer every time, which I think is probably pretty interesting in that it's not going to be the same every time. In fact, it's going to be different every time because it's a different person with an incredibly complex life who's had so many lived experiences, both present and passive and conscious and unconscious. You know, sometimes it's a person of a completely different ethnic background, a completely different economic background, any combination. It's somebody of a different gender, or, you know, a gender outside of the binary. It's really complicated, and that's what kind of excites me, is it's going to be different every time. You know, you can say, you know, generalized anxiety. Yes, a lot of people have that. But getting to the root of it, and then figuring out if there's any comorbidity going on, anything else going on there, that's what excites me. So, to help classify what does and does not count as a mental illness, there's a method that I was taught that is the 4 Ds, and let's see, I can't remember what order it is. I think it's deviant, dysfunctional, distressing, and dangerous. And it's another really interesting thing, because my interpretation of it is different from, and this is why I love being in class, because I like to I love forum style classes, because I like having these discussions. Because in my head, what's dysfunctional to someone else may not be dysfunctional to me. I'm sure I have coping mechanisms that are wildly different from other people's, that work for me that wouldn't work for that other person, and vice versa. That's part of why I love tempting the universe so often, is I fully accept whatever consequences come my way. I just like tempting the universe to see if they happen. So if I sit there and go, you know, if I look in a mirror and go Bloody Mary, however many fucking times, if I summon Bloody Mary, I am prepared to have Bloody Mary in front of me. You know, I am willing to accept that I'll die or get stabbed, or, you know, have any sort of physical mauling occur. Whereas someone else may not be prepared for those consequences, so they wouldn't do it, which is arguably the more intelligent thing to do. But I don't know, I'm self-destructive because I just love, I like funny. I live for comedy, so and what's more funny than somebody going, "Oh yeah, I bet you won't," and then getting smashed in the face by a rock. You won't throw that rock at me. Ouch. So suffice to say, just because something is deviant doesn't mean it's wrong. Just because that, you know, that just means different. If I don't have a mental illness because I like to take the long way home, you know, because I don't like to be ass to elbow with a bunch of other drivers on the interstate or whatever. Or if the shoe's on the other foot, if I like to go the more expedient way, you know, if more people decide to go the back roads than the interstate, and I still choose to go on the interstate, that doesn't make me wrong. It just makes me, you know, deviance from what's normal. And I should go ahead and clarify that obviously none of it is wrong. It's just that's another thing that this particular professor was very clear to underline. Just because it's abnormal doesn't mean it's wrong, you know? There is no such thing as wrong, there is just abnormal. And, you know, this particular professor was an unbelievable hippie, so I'm really sad I only got 1 semester with him. I would have loved to know more about him. So deviant is really not something, obviously you can't diagnose somebody solely on being deviant. And even more radical deviants, like, you know, a more noticeably deviant lifestyle, like being eccentric, or being a nomad, or being a shut-in or whatever. You know, if it works for that person, then it's just deviant, it's not a mental illness. However, you also have to understand that sometimes you gotta know when to pull out the judgment. You gotta know when to pull it out and when to leave it in, because that person alone is judging if it is dysfunctional for them. Generally, if it's, you know, you're coming from a humanistic perspective, and they may not be willing to see the negative effects just because it's a more comfortable lifestyle. You know, like if you're a shut-in, and you're comfortable being a shut-in, and you don't want to change being a shut-in, well, you might not notice that, you know, it's making your, it's negatively reinforcing interactions with people because you're not going out and you're not having bad interactions with people. So you're like, oh, okay, well, if I don't go out, then I won't have bad interactions with people, so I will continue to be fearful of the people because I'm not interacting with them, and, you know, giving them the chance to prove my fear wrong by giving me good interactions. You may not notice that, you know, as you settle into being less social, you know, depressive behavior increases, or, you know, any sort of symptoms that come from that kind of lifestyle. However, it's also very much not anyone else's prerogative to tell you that your lifestyle of being a shut-in is wrong, because if you are truly comfortable in that lifestyle and you're not hurting anybody, well, then it's fine, you know? If you can make it work, if you can function and live and, you know, I'm not even going to say contribute to society in a meaningful way, because that's another argument completely, but if you don't detract from society at all, then you're fine, you know? It's whatever. So you move on from deviant. Deviant is really just something to notice and kind of be aware of. So then you go to dysfunctional. And so this is where it gets kind of not divisive, but this is where opinions kind of deviate. Some people, depending on your opinion of, you know, psychological practice, do accept dysfunction as a meaningful way to diagnose. Not so much in a humanistic school, but if you're doing, like, yeah, especially if you're doing behaviorism, that has a more concrete idea of what is and isn't dysfunctional. But, you know, humanism is all about embracing differences and being accepting of the people as experts of themselves, because I don't know your life, so I can't tell you if what you're doing is right or wrong. I haven't lived your life, so I don't know. So dysfunction to me, and I'm sure a lot of my cohorts at the school, falls more into the something to be aware of. So it's like closer to deviance than it is to distress, which is the next level up, which is something to be concerned about. Because what can you classify as dysfunctional, right? If I have something that functions for me and I can make life still rich and fulfilling despite it, then what's the harm? There is no real harm. Let's see. I think I discussed it plenty of, you know, how I tempt the universe and whatever. But, you know, another thing, like, say a starving artist, you know, I wouldn't choose to be homeless or to be hungry, you know, but if somebody truly believes that that enriches their art, and I don't know dick about art, but even if I did, you know, art is another whole argument that I could get into right now. But suffice to say, if that is, that for me would be wildly dysfunctional. And I think making the argument that it is dysfunctional is not completely unfounded, but that person, though living dysfunctionally, makes it work, then again, it's not really mental illness, it's just a different lifestyle. So then you get to the ones that are more indicative of, you know, mental illness, mental disorder, mental suffering, whatever you want to call it. Which distress is pretty self-explanatory. Distress and dangerous are pretty self-explanatory, I think. And naturally, something doesn't have to tick all of the boxes. It is sort of an interpretive science. So distress is like, if you're causing distress to yourself or other people. So like a guy running around naked yelling something about the rapture, you know, that's kind of distressing. It is deviant. Is it dysfunctional? I have no idea. I would have to think more about it. If this is a case study, I would need a little more time to think it over, to let it, you know, cook in my brain. But it's definitely distressing, you know. I don't like seeing a naked guy run around screaming about the rapture. That kind of makes me fucking anxious. And then I'm thinking about the rapture and going, oh God, you know. So, you know, that may be more grounds to kind of get some mental health professionals out there and maybe get him detained and say, okay, is this some sort of schizoaffective situation, or is this like a just fugue state, or is it a mental breakdown, or, you know, what are we dealing with here?
Across these locations. Get a good look at these surveillance shots.
But that's another sort of thing where
I should remind you.
see, it's not really an is or isn't thing. It's not like just because something is distressing means it's a mental disorder. A perfectly mentally healthy, rational person could theoretically run around naked screaming about the rapture, you know? For no reason other than we don't really know. Maybe they just decided to do it because they thought it would be funny. Maybe they're doing it for YouTube content. I have no idea. Which is why you have to, you know, be aware of those things. And then dangerous is... So what I was saying is, it's not really is or isn't. It's sort of like a... It's like a complex kind of gradient sort of situation. You know? Or like a Venn diagram, maybe. Where if it overlaps too much, then it's definitely something worth considering. But like, if there's little amounts of distress and lots amounts of deviance, you know, it's something to look at, but not go, yes, this person is mentally ill, we have to figure out what it is. You know, it is, this person may be mentally ill, but they can be allowed back into society, if you want to put it like that, for lack of a better term. I will. And dangerous is, you know, self-explanatory. If you're wandering around naked screaming about the rapture with a knife, then that's cause for concern and a little bit more evidence that there's some sort of manic break or schizoaffective episode occurring, because given the social consequences of running around naked with a knife screaming about the rapture, you know, legal, you don't want to deal with that because, you know, you'll probably get arrested for having a knife and public indecency. So there's more reasons to not for a rational person, you know? Because being charged with brandishing a weapon in public is a bit more serious an offense than public indecency. Unless, you know, you're running around a children's playground, that's a different thing. You definitely don't want to be doing that. So there's fewer reasons for a rational person to do it, and when there's not that much reason for a rational person to do it anyway, then it's definitely something to go, okay, you know, we need to figure out why. Maybe they're doing it for YouTube content, which would be fucking retarded, because it's, you know, you're gonna get arrested and you are going to get fined heavily. And even if you plead insanity, that's another thing that I don't want to say upsets me, but definitely confuses me is the whole, I'm gonna kill somebody, but plead insanity so I get away with it. You don't get away with it, dude. You go to like maximum security mental facility. You're basically still in prison. It's just a different kind of prison. There's prison for sane people and prison for mentally unwell people, and you're going to the prison for mentally unwell people. There are, you know, mental facilities that aren't like prison, but you killed somebody. That's not where you're going. Because if you're mentally ill and still dangerous, then you still need to be contained. And honestly, I don't know, because I've never been to either, but I would imagine a sanatorium is probably less entertaining than prison. You get probably a lot less freedom in a sanatorium than you do prison. And you're probably going to get your mind unbelievably numbed by drugs, by antipsychotics and SSRIs and shit like that. In a prison, I don't know, you could probably get away with masturbating after lights out. Probably. Again, don't know, never been. In a sanatorium, you definitely could not. You may get a little more privacy, but you're not going to get much more freedom. So that confuses the piss out of me. But if you are actively endangering yourself or someone else, it is that there are, and when I say putting in danger, I don't mean just physical mutilation, because something like cutting yourself, that is dangerous, but it's not like life-threatening. And so there's sort of two levels to the dangerous. If you are cutting yourself, it's important to figure out why. And usually it's just a control thing. It's, you know, incredibly depressed or incredibly anxious and needs something. You know, if it's a depression, have to go through physical pain so you feel something, so you know you still can. Or, and I'm not by any means stating that that's all it ever is. That's just, you know, the most common example I can think of. And if it's anxiety, it's, you know, you have to control something. You have to prove to yourself that you have control over your own body, so you injure yourself. So that's also,
When you're ready to confirm your choice of
I guess it's not as drastic as running around naked brandishing a knife. But then again, you know, it may be, because it's let's be 100% real. I see a lot of like, oh, we just had no idea that this person was suicidal. And I get it. I get that. Because it's really fucking hard to read those signals, because everybody exhibits them at some point or another, and not everybody's going to kill themselves. So, you know, it's really hard to comprehend. You know, of course, sometimes it's pretty easy to say, hey, I think you need help. But you can't force somebody to get help, you know?
well done.
That's a whole other situation. And, you know, punishing them for not getting help is not a healthy thing to do either. So, suffice to say, the whole danger situation is self-explanatory, but also pretty nuanced. Because, you know, there is a possible reason for a mentally stable, I don't know, you know, I don't want to be too general, but a mentally sound person to threaten to kill somebody, you know, or to try to kill somebody. If you have no prior history of mental unwell behavior, and your husband cheats on you, you might want to kill him, you know? You might want to fucking shoot the son of a bitch in the face. And that kind of, I think, ties back to the stress and diathesis thing, because, you know, if my brother were to borrow my truck and crash it, I'd be like, damn, that sucks, but I'm glad you're okay, you know, I'll learn to drive stick and borrow your car until I can find something else. But there are instances where people who have lived completely different lives from me, their brother takes their car and crashes it, and so they kick the shit out of him and possibly kill him. So it is, the bottom line is, it is very possible for mentally stable, mentally sound people, we'll say functional people, non-mentally ill people, to exhibit symptoms from any of these categories and still be not mentally ill, not have like any sort of schizoaffective situation or, you know, major depressive or anything like that. Or if you're reading from like the DSM-2, melancholia or homosexuality, because both of those were, you know, melancholia, which kind of evolved into depression, but sorry, no, not melancholia. I'm thinking of female hysteria, both of which have since and rightfully been removed from the DSM. Not melancholia, like I said, that kind of evolved into depression. I mean homosexuality. I forget when. I should just do like a psychological review stream where I go through some of the shit that I've learned, but I don't remember. I think it was the DSM-3 was the first instance of a published DSM where homosexuality was not classified as a mental disorder. And I think the DSM-4, one of the revisions, was the first instance of what they called transsexualism, not being listed as a mental disorder. Interesting stuff. And one of my favorite fucking stories, son of a bitch. I wrote I had a fucking diagram, because it was one of my project was to make a timeline of all of the events in psychological history pertaining to a specific thing, and I chose, you know, homosexuality, and I cannot for the life of me remember his name. It was Dr. John something. Son of a bitch, I gotta look it up because it's gonna kill me if I don't remember. Let's see. Right, I forgot Bing is fucking useless. God, what was his name? Dr. John something. John Fryer. Dr. John Fryer. Yeah, okay. So, this guy got the ball was partially responsible for the ball rolling to remove homosexuality as a mental illness, because he went to an APA convention and had like a disguise mask, and I think he had a wig and some shit like that, and he was Dr. Henry Anonymous, and he basically stood up and gave this speech about, you know, it's not a mental illness. And of course he had to do it anonymously because, you know, discrimination. And I wonder if there's I hope there's a transcript of his speech. John Money? No. Yeah, there's a whole transcript of his speech. So if you look up Dr. Anonymous speech, I highly recommend you read it because it's unbelievably interesting. Diagnosed your friends with the gay in middle school. Are you saying I was a quack? Any middle school diagnosis that people take seriously? I think they probably are mentally unwell. Maybe not in the way that a middle schooler diagnoses them, but I don't think any rational person would accept the diagnosis of a child. Yes, Dr. John Fryer. And this came, I believe, there's a man named Harvey Milk who I believe was running for Senate, and he got assassinated, and he was openly gay. I don't remember if he got assassinated because he was openly gay or if it was something different. I think it depends on who you ask. But I'm pretty sure this followed that, where he goes, all right, this is... Dr. John Fryer goes, this is enough. Enough is enough. Somebody has to speak out for the gays. I will do it. And that is some of the chatliest shit, dude. So, the history of psychology is a very, very... For it only being a century or so old... discipline, like... Obviously, people have been pondering psychology since ever, but as we know it, the discipline of psychology is not very old. And for it being so young, it is unbelievably interesting. So, I wonder what else I can talk about. So, suffice to say, the 4Ds are like a checklist to keep in your head for diagnosis, you know? Obviously not a...
Killed me!
I didn't nearly kill you. Calm down. Would I say Clark is mentally ill? Yes, most certainly. Just a front answer to your bullshit. Well, I'm in yap mode now. I'm in brain mode. I'm kind of... I'm in podcast mode right now. So yeah, I'm in the... I have the opportunity to give answers like that. If I'm focusing on the game, I'd just be like, oh yeah, well, you know, you're gay, whatever. But yeah, I've got two streaming modes. I've got yap mode and I've got gamer mode, and I'm just brain offing the game so I can talk.
Time to hit up the Clucking Bell outlet on Innocence Boulevard. I'll brief you on the way.
Have I discussed Eric Fromm with you yet? That guy's really interesting.
Okay, remember how
That guy is
to hack the vans to find the garage where they're loading the drugs. GPS location.
It's really difficult
Stabilize the vehicle.
to be a psychologist
Keep in mind, if you grab
without being a social psychologist in this day and age, because the two are so very tightly related.
so many times that you probably know which people they use to load.
And to my knowledge, again, I'm no Ivy League psychologist. I don't know what they're doing.
Time hacking most
But
vans.
in my exposure, it seems like a lot more of it is leaning towards not specifically humanistic theory, but
Close to the vans.
integrating humanistic ideals. And integrative psychology is, I mean, just the way to be. You take a bunch of ideas from a bunch of different theories and you figure out what works.
We're getting half what he's worth. Be forewarned. They'll know we've infiltrated.
Hey! Stop! Stop pretending I aren't a genius. Yeah, okay, buddy.
Find more vans to hack.
When was the last time you shit your pants? For me, it's been like 2 days.
If you see
Would a genius do that?
might as well buy some
A savant, maybe. A savant, I would accept.
rare chance to express your theatrical
But Eric Fromm was a social psychologist, I think from the 50s to the 80s. And he very much hated capitalism, as all good psychologists do. Because it prevails into unhealthy habits outside of just economics. So I'm soon going to order a book off of Amazon called The Art of Loving that he wrote, because I read an excerpt from it where he basically talked about how... I've talked about this on stream recently because I surely I remember specifically this. Anyway, it's gendered language because it's a book from the 50s where he goes, you know, man basically must market himself for a relationship. All relationships are transactional in the West because, you know, you are constantly thinking about what you are giving away and what you are getting in a relationship and how to minimize one while maximizing the other.
suspecting a thing. Just disable
I do kind of have to lock in on this. Ari wanted attention, so you missed out on the end of the psych lecture. Oh, baby, I can talk about psychology for decades.
guns blazing.
And I will, God willing, if I get my doctorate, I'll be able to, you know, teach.
That's how you want to do it. Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
a locker or something similar. Can you find anything to break them open?
That's it.
Hear from
Nowhere
me.
to escape
But
now.
if those guys are in your head, you gotta take them out. Otherwise, you risk the cartel hearing all about it.
Damn, what? Okay.
Hey, motherfucker!
All right. That's all of them.
I am
Yeah, ouch! My bullet holes were... they hurt.
your asset when we hit the factory.
Should make people call me Professor. Honestly, I could do a little rebrand. I love Lithiarch, don't get me wrong. It's like my name, but
As far as the cartel,
Professor
we're
Lithiarch.
never here.
Professor Barrett. Professor Barrett Brimstone. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Dr. Brimstone. There are some seriously radical ideas out there in psychology, and, you know, some of them you scoff at, but you can't immediately write them off because it's such an abstract field that you're like, shit, that might be right. And, you know, since it's an integrative field where you have to take ideas and kind of use them to your own benefit, the person who immediately dismisses radical ideas kind of loses out, I feel. I know I've talked about Artie Lang, but that's who I'm referring to. The man who wrote Schizophrenia is a rational reaction to an irrational world. I'm like, oh yeah. He also wrote a lot about honestly, this probably had a pretty fucking big influence on my personal opinion of life and shit in general. But he wrote about how life is, in and of itself, very experiential and very individual, because I can only live as myself. I can't live as you. I only know my experiences, and I only know your experiences as I experience you having experienced them. Does that make sense? So there are a lot of filters through which your life comes, because the way you describe it, any personal biases you have while describing it, and the way I interpret it, and any personal biases that I have while I interpret it. So obviously there's going to be some lost in translation. So something I've said for a while now, I think since I was getting my 2-year, this field, you have to be simultaneously the most believing person in the world, the most trusting, and the least trusting person in the world. Because you have to be willing to go, okay, how much of this is accurate, and how much of this is, you know, a warped interpretation, or, you know, a misrepresentation of those experiences, whether intentional or accidental, you know? It's so fascinating. And you just have to hope you get it right, you know? I was talking with my brother-in-law, Alexander, one time. He is a more conventional type of smart. The rocket scientist type. I'm like, so what? Maybe, I think he was telling me this story where somebody asked him, like, well, how do you not get super anxious? And he goes, okay, well, I either get to send out someone to space, or I get to create a very big, very expensive missile. Like, that is an excellent way of looking at it.
Crates to hide in. Find whatever's transporting them and bring them to the lockup.
And I'm sure there are some, you know, private counselors out there who are very anxious about helping everyone, fixing them, as it were, to the best of their ability. And I think that's a stress and diathesis thing. But one of the great things about private practice, and why I'm pursuing it so strongly, is none of those people are lost causes. because by virtue of being in a counselor's office, they are able to be helped because, you know, like if it's court-ordered therapy, that's kind of different because they are being forced to go. But if someone chooses to seek out counseling, then they have the open-mindedness, I guess it were, to be treated, I guess, is the best way to put it. They wouldn't, here's a good way of putting it. They wouldn't seek out counseling if they didn't think counseling would help. Does that make sense? If your leg falls off, you're not going to go seeking a miracle leg replacement pill if you didn't think the pill would work. If you didn't have some modicum of this will work, you wouldn't. Or even I hope this works, which for a counselor is good the fuck enough. So long as you do what they say, and so long as what they say is helpful. I'm placing myself in this role because I think I have fair confidence in the advice I would give being helpful, but there are some counselors out there who are just straight ass, my man. They are just ass. I know someone who was telling me about their counselor. And this particular person is, you know, has depressive issues and you familiar with the term catastrophizing? This person does that.
No stopping us now.
Which catastrophizing is basically like, you know, presuming the worst case scenario. And their counselor recommended them to imagine themselves in like, what, like a year or 2 years? Like, okay, so you're gonna ask somebody who presumes the worst possible scenario to imagine themselves in 2 years. So you're basically asking somebody, you know, not directly, but for all intents and purposes, you're asking somebody, okay, what do you think is the worst thing that could happen to you in 5 years, in 2 years, however many fucking years it was? It's not really relevant. Which, you know, if you're trying to help somebody with their mental, not a good thing to do. So you have to be really aware of the person. You have to know what works. Which is why I hope, I'm not going to say I will because I can't predict myself, but I hope, I have no intention of right now ever stopping reading about psych. For many reasons. One, it keeps your brain sharp, but two, you know, it introduces new ideas and new possible treatments. But what I do in that situation, I'm not 100% sure. I'd need a little more time to think about it, and also, you know, I am now separating this trait from this person, and so I would need to know this person a little better. But, you know, I was having a discussion with somebody, and I like to journal, you know? I think journaling is a good thing for your mental health. However, this person, like many people, has a bias towards recording what upset them throughout the day. And that's not great, you know? If you're talking to somebody, it can be like a venting thing, but if you're recording it in a journal, that's not great because you read back and you're presented with sort of a difficult to win situation where theoretically, yeah, if your mental's better, you can go, okay, look how far I've come. But possibly, probably the more likely thing is you could say, oh, well, my life isn't much better. You know, this isn't helping. I gotta give up, or, you know, anything like that. There's a plethora of of ways that could go that would make your mental worse.
If you want to refresh your arsenal, don't forget the extra equipment you acquired. I've arranged.
So suffice to say, you have to be really careful what you recommend to different people because there's not one answer that's right. I don't imagine myself in 10 years just because I don't know what I will do in 10 years. Because 10 years ago, I had no idea what I would be doing right now, you know? I knew what I wanted to do, and part of it was streaming, so I'm doing all right on that front. But I don't know where I'm going to be when I'm 35. I would hope I'm established and I, you know, have a cat and I'm still streaming and still going to conventions and still doing things that make me happy. I would like to have a Subaru WRX or a Subaru Brat or both. I would like to have a significant other, but I'm not gonna. What I have to do is a very optimistic but very lazy thing to do is keep on living and hope it works out. See what happens. Keep forgetting to journal. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, you know, there are other options. I do think that, to me, journaling is a creative thing because I've always liked to write. But that may be more of a unique, non-standard perspective. I do think people need creative outlets. I think streaming is a creative outlet for me. And it's great because it's not super effortful. I can just sit and play games and say dumb shit, and that's me expressing myself, doing stupid bits of Clark dancing to the Valhalla soundtrack. I had so much fun doing that. Every now and then editing a YouTube video, which, God, the legacy of liberal Trump is, you know, it's still coming out someday. I also wanted to do like a beans compilation, but I don't know how. I don't really know the logistics of that. Had fun the last time you journaled, but it's hard to remember to do. I understand that. I have trouble and have had trouble for a long time. I can't really do medicine daily because I never remember to do it. Even if I am like set the bottle somewhere where I know I'll see it, it will just become invisible to me. So I discussed with both my doctor and my therapist. I'm like, so what is the efficacy of taking this on like an as needed basis? Like, well, it's not going to be as efficient, but if it works for you, if you can make it work, fucking go for it. I'm like, word. So if I think about needing my anxiety pill, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be out and about with people today. You know, I'm not feeling great. It's better if I take my anxiety pill. Then I do. Or my Ritalin, you know? So I understand journaling it depends on what you need. Do you need structure? Do you need routine? Then journaling's great to do. Do you not need, you know, another responsibility, another thing that you'll feel guilty if you don't do? Then don't journal, you know? What am I doing? Oh yeah, office keys. Will you feel bad about yourself for skipping a day? Well then don't do it, you know? Are you able to set that aside and go, not today? Then sure, yeah, great. Do you need, you know, write down fucking 2 things that were good and 1 thing that you wish didn't happen, or 1 thing you didn't, or you would like to change, or you wish had changed, or whatever, you know? Say 2 things you did good today and 1 thing that you wish you had handled differently. And that puts it in your head for the future. Or if you just want abstract shit, my journaling is abstract as fuck, because sometimes I just doodle. Sometimes I just draw gray, and I still suck at it, but sometimes I just feel like drawing gray.
Go straight and you'll catch a connection. Then find the next
Son of a
one.
bitch.
Remember, there are multiple connections.
Sometimes I draw a stick man. You know, sometimes I draw a stick man with a sword. Sometimes I draw a banana. I don't even do it daily.
Okay, that should have done it.
I started going for walks recently. I don't do that daily. But I don't feel bad for missing a day or for skipping a day. My legs hurt. I feel stupid. I'm like, I really shouldn't have done that. But I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, fuck, I missed a day. I'm so fucking fat and worthless and stupid and lazy.
The safe should be on the hacking device.
Because that's not mentally healthy. I also appreciate being challenged. So I understand that's
All clear. Nice work.
not how everybody is. It's not how everybody reacts.
Sounds like that safe trip.
I appreciate the difficulty because I appreciate overcoming the difficulty.
Factory. Fortunately,
But there's also a difference between like manufactured difficulty and genuine difficulty.
where you left it.
Like if I'm sitting there going, okay, I can only, I'm gonna walk 3 miles, but I can only hop on 1 foot.
Garage where you left it.
Like, well, that's, you know what, I'm not. Maybe later, but right now, you know, I'm not in a position where I can do something like that right now, or that I would even want to. Maybe when I'm more in shape or feel like just being stupid, I'll get as far as I can hopping on 1 foot. Also, that's not particularly healthy thing to do. Like, that's not getting good exercise. That's just being a fucking dumbass. Is it dysfunctional? Yes, absolutely. Is it deviant? Deviant? Yes, absolutely. Is it dangerous? Technically? Because you're gonna strain the shit out of that one leg? But is it a sign of mental illness? No, it's just a guy acting like a dumbass. Is it not a sign of mental illness? Also no, because it could be like some sort of compulsion situation. Where, you know, this person is so obsessive over the idea of, you know, something, the rapture, the earth is gonna split open if my left leg touches it, that they can only hop on their right foot. Yeah, you know, you may have to, that may be cause for concern, but you're not gonna know just by watching them hop on 1 foot. It's all about figuring out the why, baby. And also, journaling doesn't necessarily have to be about, you know, what happened to you that day. It could be what you thought about. It could be, you know, you saw a dog and that was worth recording because you want to remember it later. I don't think I would count, like, if you wrote like a short story about some sort of fantastical fairy creature, that might not quite be journaling to me. It's still writing, which is great. It's still creative expression, but I don't know if that would count as journaling. Now, if you saw a bird and you decided to write a haiku about it, which I've done, it sounded a little pretentious. If you decided to write a haiku about it, which I've done, no, it's me. That's what I wanted to do that day, so that's what I did. That, I think, is probably also still journaling. I think that would still count as journaling. Interesting shit. And my definition is not the right definition. It's just my definition.
Okay. Cartel members down, corrupt cops in the hot seat, and the factory in shambles. Sounds like a successful raid to me. Any cops that were on the scene will have a fair price.
Whee!
To say the least.
Was that a kick flip or a heel flip? I can't remember.
And look at you cleaning up this town. Halfway to being an employee of the LSPD, huh? If you pocketed some of that cocaine for yourself.
You know, they say you never forget how to ride a bike, but I did take my bike out yesterday. And I remembered how to ride it, but I've never had a bike with a shifter. The last bike I had was when I was like maybe 12, and it didn't have a transmission at all. Didn't have any sort of different gears. So I'm having to learn how to make that shit work, and I embarrassingly had to look it up. Like, okay, is the smaller number the smaller gear, or is it the bigger number? Is it like a golf situation? I don't know, because I've never had one of these. I'm 25 years old, never had. I'm pretty sure bigger number means bigger gear. I don't remember. But God, I missed riding a bike. Love riding a bike. I just need a helmet before I can do it again because I don't feel like cracking my skull open. Do I think I will? No. Am I prepared to if I will? Not if I don't have a helmet. I would rather look a little dorky and have my cranium be safe than be that guy who gets his gray matter smeared across the road. You feel? Now, knee pads, elbow pads. My brain's not in my elbows. I'll be all right without those. And if I lose some skin, I've done it before. I've got scars from when I was a kid, and I fucking fell off my bike. Shit, there was one time I was, so something you should know about my neighborhood is we live close to the entrance. And so you pull in, and right at our house is on a four-way, and each direction you go, except for like the outgoing, like if you're leaving the subdivision, it's flat, but any of the other ways, they're all downward hills. All of those roads are downward hills. So we used to ride our bikes all around and shit, and we used to ride them down the hills, and that was super fun and shit. So there was one time my sister was at the bottom of a hill, of one of the hills, and I was riding down. And I fucked up and smashed into her, like directly fucking into her. I don't know, it was a little girl on a bike. I was a little boy on a bike, and there was a whole big ass fucking road, but I panicked and smashed right into my sister. And I think I dislocated one of her fingers, or maybe broke it, and lost a bunch of skin, scraped the fuck out of myself on the road. And I've still got a scar in my arm from where that happened. So, I've got 100 stories like that of me busting my ass. And I'll tell you another one after the intermission, but I need to take a brief intermission. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and close out, because I'll probably get kicked for inactivity anyway. So, I'll be right back with more Granddad Auto. I think I made the Granddad Auto joke already, but I'm doing it again. Alright, I'll be back. I'll play more Valhalla music, just because it's good music. Stick around, don't go far. More of this to come. Although it's going to take my browser dog years to load. We're going to start with Go Go Streaming Chain, because I like that song. I'll be back! Alright, we're done with the music. No more music. No music. Music is banned. Music is illegal now. Hello! Just in case you forgot, I'm here. This is not just a... Can I see what the discounts are, please? Alright, I guess it's not going to tell me what the discounts are. Salvage yard daily income. Robbery, sale, and salvage value and tow truck services. What is the daily income of the salvage yard? Okay, up to $24,000 every 48 minutes. Yeah, I ain't reading all that. No offense. Fuck that shit. Not interested. I do want to see what... I want to see what the discounts are this week. May 14th to the 21st. Yeah, what do we got? Holy shit! Okay. So, conversion at Benny's is half off. That's wacky. I can't tell what the discount is. The salvage yard is 40% off. Your pants are on fire. Congrats. I hope you get better. Okay, bunch of shit I don't give a fuck about. Hello, hello finally, welcome back. I'm looking through some shit. Alright, so how much would a salvage yard run me, I wonder? Hey, while you're here, can you remind me what Z car it is you have in this game? You remember the in-game name? Because I'm not going to be able to tell them apart. The 190? Okay, cool. Because that's what's in Simeon's right now. And I was going to let you know, like, that's what it is. And there it is. But you already have it. I thought that was the one you had. I don't remember. Looks like Akimazeto.
I don't know what that is. I mean, I know what the car is, but I don't know what model it is.
You have to understand, I'm kind of fucking stupid. It's in Simeon's right now. I'm not going to buy it because I'm saving my money, but if you didn't already have it, there it is. Also, shoot me the deets on Discord when you can of what exactly the plan for this weekend is, because I don't really know like when we're leaving or when we're coming back or what. I don't even know what day the game is. Also,
you just lost the game. Haha.
okay, what the fuck was I about to do? Oh yeah, let's see how much a salvage yard would run me now. That is not a salvage yard. Woo-wee! Now let me check this real quick. Okay, so we're not leaving tomorrow. Cool. I didn't really want to leave tomorrow. Oh, me oh my. I don't really need discounts. More is mutual. I thought that was vehicle trade rates, like buying vehicles. Find something to do with yourself tomorrow? We can hang out. I got some shit I gotta do. It'll be chill. I gotta run by the bike shop and get a helmet. And then at least one other thing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see myself buying a salvage yard at some point. Hello? When did you get here? 408 grand. What the fuck are you? Just wake you up. Okie dokie. I have to wake up first. You're down and bored. Midnight blue. Hell yeah. People are finally picking good colors for their cars. No. Engine. Wrong tune. Whatever that weird-ass little Fiat is. Panda? Well, let me see. Fuck it. Now that you've given me a name, let me look it up and see if I want it. Pinto? Maxwell Asbo. It's only 400 grand, Dad, so let's see if it's worth my money. Uses the same high revving and loud sound from cars such as the Bifta and the Kuruma. Well, shit. Oof. Thick chin. Wide chin. Excuse me. Oh, damn! I kind of like that. God damn. Oh, shit. I kind of want this little piece of shit. Whoa! Oh shit, I can give it bedroom eyes. Vented hood with bra? Really? This is called a bra. Okay. Got its ass whipped with the ugly stick? Yeah, it kinda did. Oh my fucking god. This thing just exudes penis music, dude. Ooh. Ooh. That's also pretty fire. Car titties. It's a Harlequin Golf. I can make it Mary Kay. Oh my god. This is awesome. Oh. That's boring. That's boring. What exactly has changed about this? Car titties. Okay, it was just really dark. I don't know, man. I'm kind of tempted, but I'm trying to save money here. Different colors of body panels on a Wolfsburg Golf, and it became special edition. What does this guy want? Secondary scoop. Yeah, it's kind of horribly ugly, and I think I like it specifically because of that. Is this... Wait. Let me... Okay, supposedly it's on super autos, so there's no reason for me to buy it now. I can wait. I don't have to wait for it to show back up in my... Oh, ew! Ew! Oh my god, it kind of looks like All Might from the back. Holy Jesus. Okay, let's quit fucking around. Let's actually give this guy the car that he wants. Street Mark II. And a street bumper. Good choice. Honestly, this is a banging little vehicle. I'd drive this. Depends on what wheels he wants. Off-road. Oh, no. Ew. Be a Scudo wing. Wait, this is the Italian equivalent of a Ricer? Oh, my God. I'll take it. You know, this doesn't sound like a HUUUUH. This doesn't sound like my WRX. Wow, even with the engine tuning, it is really struggling. Thankfully, I've got garage space specifically allocated for, like, meme cars and piss baby cars. It's called an ASBO. Ah, yes, the Mitsubishi Aspie. Perfect. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I can't believe I didn't crash. I don't think I'm supposed to park that there. Sorry, I'm just having a little seizure real quick. Alright, I am adding Maxwell Asbo to my car wish list. It's a British thing. That makes sense. Beautiful. Lester, can you please leave me alone?
I can't tell.
I can't do that mission because I don't have any friends. Antisocial behavior order.
You calling for some wheels?
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up.
Let's bring out the brat.
I'll get back to it then.
It's not my first time flying, and as a matter of fact, I have flown many of the planes. It's a good day for the ute. Too fucking right, mate. You fucking Drago. If only I had watched Big Les before Beans died and I could have said you fucking Drago to him just once. How sad. What a sad reality I inhabit. That I couldn't call my Drago friend a Drago. Because he fucking died. Take us to Bendigo. Going on a fucking Macca's run. Text me what you want or you ain't getting shit. Not your ride. Bitch, what about my ride? What in the penis music are you listening to, Raffi? It is a little penisy. I wonder what other dumb shit I can talk about while I'm in podcast mode.
Alright, time to balance the books. The client wants the car picked up and given a little VIP treatment. Washed.
Yes, and of course they called me to do it while it's raining.
This hot stuff.
Did the Brad ever take off on Oz? I mean, it definitely looks like an Australian vehicle. I think they would appreciate it. I don't know much about the Australian, you know, motor market, but
The owner says the car keys are in a lockbox on the property. You just gotta grab
looks like something they'd eat up. And regardless of if it did or it didn't, this one's Australian. I love doing that. Okay, so my next order of business, I guess I'm going to start doing more of the files. Or Cayo Perico. I'll tell you what, I'll do Cayo Perico. And then I'll do the files. While Cayo Perico's on cooldown, and then I'll go back to Cayo Perico to scout out what they have. Yeah. It's a good plan. Back then, all of their domestic brands existed? Well, does that mean they didn't import anything? That'd be kind of stupid. We don't import shit! Oh, great. Front wheel drive. This ought to be good. They did, but they prefer domestically built shit too. I mean, that's fair. It's a fun color. I like this color. I should steal this color for the Skullboys thing. I haven't changed the crew color in a while. I don't think I even have a car that's in Sunburst Blood Vessel. I think I just, like, I think I switched back to Acid Puke Green before I could, and are we still on Acid Puke Green, or did I change it back to Splattered Brains Pink? They could build the shit out of a car. Mate, it's not that fucking hard. You put 3 of the little tubey thingies, just read the fucking instructions, cunt! Love that video.
What, asshole?
There we go. He didn't say instructions, he said manual. That's right. Read the fucking manual, cunt! Isn't that called the Commodore the Dunny door? But like is that a car? I don't think I'm familiar with the Commodore car. Karma Chameleon door car. Yeah. I can't tell if this is specific Ash brand retarded or if I still have like latent coffee in my system. Ugh. God, that was so ass. And I don't think it was ass when I opened it. I think it was ass when I opened it and then stored it in the mini fridge for a day and a half. I've got another coffee in there, another little coffee shot. I'll probably drink Saturday before we leave. Holden Camo cunt? I don't know. Do I look Australian to you? I could probably pass for Australian. My accent's shit. God, I'm seeing so much shit. Speaking of shit and like the United Kingdom adjacent countries, I'm seeing so much shit about the new season of the Devil May Cry anime, and man, people don't like it. Thank God. It definitely feels like industry planted anime right now. And they have the pure beans to not use the original version of Bury the Light, which is the best version of the best song in the world. There's no reason to remix it because they fucking struck gold with it in the original. You look like the kind of guy that drives that car. Maybe because you look like M. Also known as the Holden Commode and the Holden Dunny Door. Maybe it's because it's not that good. Yeah, no, if we're talking about the anime, then yeah, it's awful. It's dog shit. And I can say that with confidence because I watched like 3 or 4 episodes, and I'm not watching any more of that. And I'm really sad because I was so excited for Robbie Damon as Virgil, and it was just really disappointing. Generic, deep voice, nothing. Doesn't even sound like Virgil.
Hello there. Well, ain't it
You drive a Toyota? Yeah, okay, buddy. I feel like you've got like a week waiting period between getting the new car and considering yourself a Toyota guy. So you gotta wait until Tuesday. No, Monday. In my head, as of right now, you are still a Volkswagen guy. You've always been a Toyota guy? Yeah, okay, buddy. Let's see. In reverse order, your last 3 cars were a Volkswagen, and a Mazda.
Hey.
You're exempt from waiting period? No.
Okay, boss.
Not to me, you're not. I'm not saying you're not a Toyota guy. I'm just saying you're not a Toyota guy to me.
God, I love this city.
Let me put it this way. The waiting period is probably like my brain having to catch up with the fact that you don't drive your old car anymore. Forgot the Honda you drove for like 2 days? Between the Mazda and the first VW? Rental cars don't count. Alright, which helipad am I landing? This one, okay. That wasn't a rental car? You drove it for 2 days! Even if you owned that car, it's still a rental car. That was a loaner from God, and he went, alright, I want it back now. $750 shitbox Civic. And yeah, you know, weirdly, somehow still not a Toyota.
This is gonna be great.
Toyota Civic. That just doesn't sound right. But I do much prefer vehicles to have word names. I hate when they have number names, and I'm growing to hate the ones that just have letter names. I liked those Subarus we were talking about, but I can't remember any of them. I remember Subaru WRX because that's the one that I like.
Get a picture.
That's the one I have exposure to. But it's like, give me a fucking Ford Gugus and I'll be happy. Not a Ford... The fact notwithstanding that I drive an F-150. In my head, F-150 is not like a letter number designation. It's its own word. Spelled like EPHWUNN FIFTIE. I just sort of made it up. I don't know if those letters go well together. F-150. Well, except I don't say 50. I say 50. F-150. My accent's thick, but it ain't that thick. It's not even accent, really. It's just I use a lot of southern drawl words. I say ain't a lot. I ain't never. Well, no, I don't know. Because instead of saying I'm not doing that shit, I say I ain't doing that shit. So I don't know. That's kind of thick accent, I think.
Ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to come here.
Yeah, okay, buddy. That lake is wet as fuck. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, water's a rare occurrence in California anyway, so it's picture worthy. I think I've got some family members in Alabama that if I were to try and mimic their accents, like their accents are so fucking thick that if I were to try and mimic it, I don't think I could. And I'm from Georgia, so you know. It just goes to show you, as southern as I can sound, it can get a lot fucking worse. And I certainly don't sound like no damn boomhauer. It's really funny though, and like, there's some folks down here who are, you know, you associate southern accent with like stupid or ignorance, but man, like,
Ah, how nice.
they will fucking shock you with how smart they are. It's unbelievable.
This is a great way to spend the day.
So you think Southerners are stupid? You got another thing coming, my friend. I'm stupid, but not because I'm a Southerner. I'm stupid by my own volition. Your favorite Japanese car is Nissan. To defer to my judgment, I must protest because fully 3/4 of the rest of your favorites are Toyotas. Bro, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about now. I'm just saying, in my brain, until Monday, you're not a Toyota guy. Oh! Hate to be that girl. I didn't kill her. She walked into the fucking tail rotor. If she wasn't smart enough to know not to walk into the tail rotor of a helicopter if she wanted to live, that ain't my fucking problem.
What a tour. Love that form.
Yeah, her very last one, too. Hope you weren't planning on taking any other helitours, because, you appear to have been scalped by my chopper. Sure. Oh! Right.
Yep, I need
God damn! She went flying. Explosive atomic elbow. I really did get like fucking Undertakered by my man, what was I saying? I feel really hungry all of a sudden. Shit. Yeah, Rafi, don't even bother fucking texting me what they ordered. They're all getting blueberry cheesecake. I can't be bothered to read their orders.
All right, boss. In order to launder through a weed business, we gotta sell a little weed. All you gotta do is drop
Sprinter Torino Corolla 11.
locations. This is all above board, okay? So smile, enjoy it. Today, you're not a criminal.
Oh no, today I'm still a criminal. It's just for this like 45 minutes I'm not a criminal. I am a passive. I am passively committing many crimes right now. I'm still a criminal, Rafi. $2,000 GT, bro. Numbers and letters. Ah, you're talking about the Toyota BitBob. Gotcha. I would love to have a car manufacturing company. This is the I can't really call myself AMW, Ash Motorworks. This is the I'll call myself BMW, Barrett Motorworks. This is the BMW Blip. This is the BMW Crunch. This is the BMW Kiryu. The BMW Squirt. The BMW Pepsi. That may cause legal issues, but, you know, whatever, it's not a real car anyway. Respect your allegiance. Just because you never owned one doesn't mean they're not your favorite. Bro, who are you attacking right now? What are you talking about? I don't know. Oh, I believe you, but up here in this brain, I will not consider you a Toyota guy until Monday. Not out of any obstinance or personal vendetta of my own, just because it takes my brain that long to catch up. This is our economy model, the BMW Wet Fart. My cruelty knows no bounds. You're correct. And just for that, 2 weeks. Next Monday. Next Monday. You better shoot Fong Lee. He's digging you in a hole like Patrick did to SpongeBob. There will be but one challenge. What's that actor's name? Shit. Because he was also in Seinfeld, and I remember him having a fun voice. And then I'm like, oh, wait, that guy's Neptune. I recognize him from Seinfeld. But he was only Neptune in that one episode, I think. Also, I would scam the shit out of Neptune if he offered me 3 challenges for my mortal soul, because... Surprise! I ain't got one of those! For 2 reasons, actually. 1, you can argue I just don't have a soul in general, but 2, souls aren't mortal, souls are immortal. If you're me and you believe that, which I do. That's a Socrates thing. I can school you on philosophy now if you'd like. Although Socrates' argument for the immortal soul is kind of fucking complex if you don't already know his theory of the forms. Mortal soul refers to the soul belonging to a mortal. What are you, Neptune's lawyer? Ye. Well, shit, dude. If you're on retainer for Neptune, you gotta be, like, making bank. That, or you made a deal with him and he took your mortal soul and forced you into lawyer servitude. Which...
Did you see that new art show at the Mount Bank?
Hey, guys, got your weed right here.
For sure.
For legal reasons, I can't hand it right to you, but there it is. Every time Clark scrapes his ass across the shift knob of any vehicle, he thinks of Mooch. I hope you know. Socrates nuts, baby. Yeah, what do you think about that? Lost a burger flipping contest with him? That's too bad. All right. Indestructible van. All right, to the auto shop to see what this new vehicle that got dropped off is. Beep, beep. Oh, yeah, don't you get double money for Simian contact jobs? How much do those pay? Is it worth me grinding out those, or should I just stick to the garment factory missions? Eee! Oh my god! I bought a Neptunia game, and it's installed on my Steam Deck right now, and I desperately need to play it. I need a Neptunia injection. I miss my girls. Tekken Chan and Plute. Nep Nep. Gotta visit the Nep Nep. Never even finished the first Neptunia game. Because, Jesus Christ, it kind of dragged. But, you know, whatever. Hell, my first Neptune game was, like, Ninja Wars. And I barely played any of that. Sad truth. Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Ugh. I mean, that's just the nature of an older RPG like that, is you gotta grind. Blue. And, like, if the grinding is fun, then cool, but, you know, And it's especially frustrating in NEP because, like, there are items you can miss, and there are some items you can only get on, like, another playthrough. I'm like, I'm not really into that, like, at all. So, you know, I'll be alright for now. Neptune was even on some of that meta commentary stuff, intentionally being more grindy as a funny joke. It could be. That's some good water. Some delicious wawa. Alright, what kind of ugly ass wheels do you want on this thing? Deep flake reverse. Huh, they kind of fit. It's sad, though, that Tekken Chan is not in any of the other games that I've seen thus far. I liked her design. Shows up in hyperdimension. That's another thing. Dude, I didn't really fucking understand the story, like, at all. And I don't know how much of it is just it was all over the place, and how much of it is I just didn't care. I think probably some mixture of both, probably just as strongly each. but also it's an RPG from like the 2010s, so whatever. Or it might not even be the 2010s, it might be the 2000s. I don't fucking know when that game came out. Get a whole ass vertebra pop. Damn. I'm sorry to hear that. Some friends tell you the story isn't even continuous through all the games. Yeah, it's like, okay, there are these 4 factions and they're all representative of like major gaming markets, except Neptunia represents Sega, who hasn't made a console in... So there's like breaking out into war, but then you go to like meet up with the guys that are supposedly at war with you and they're like, oh hey, what's going on? Let's be friends. You're like, okay, well, I thought we were at war. And then there's like this witch who's like evil or something. And then there's like a bunch of like Jesus monsters or whatever. Yeah, I don't understand it. Neptunia being the fallen goddess is the reference to Sega having died off. Yeah, see, subtlety completely lost on me. And part of it is probably that I just don't give a shit. And I hate to say that about like Neptunia, but it's like bro, I can't care about this right now. Sound like a gunshot going off between your shoulder blades. Evil pirate witch? Damn. Relatable though. No, wait, I don't want to do this. I said Cayo Perico. It is just funny jokes. 80% shitposts? Yeah, yeah. That's why it's probably more... It would be better for me to just play some of the spin-offs that are like 100% shitposts, because I can't tell what is and isn't supposed to be shitposty. So I just kind of filter it all out through not giving a fuck. Oh, I was gonna do... No, okay. Let's start with a Simeon mission to see how much that'll pay, because if that'll pay nice and they're short missions, then I will just grind those out. I hate Simeon. We all hate Simeon, but if he pays good, I can deal with him. If he pays like shit, I'm gonna fucking stab him between his shoulder blades. Maybe I'll pop one of his vertebrae. Also, I'm kind of hungry. I had a banana for dinner, so I'm gonna have some food after. Damn, it was a good ass banana though. I had some banana and some chocolate milk. Fuck. I also hate living out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere where there's no streetlights or anything, because I really just want to hop on my bicycle and ride around. But I would probably definitely get hit by a car. We live on the kind of roads where people don't really think about how fast they're going, because they're back roads, because they're back roads, so there's like nobody on them. And especially not, you know, a Viking on a bike. A biking Viking, as it were. And if you see that Viking biking, your cortisol is definitely spiking. Cortisol, not cortisol. Cortisol. Remember that really old meme of the Techno Viking? That guy was kind of a fucking beast. Alright, Smean. Give me some work. I haven't seen that in a while. Alright, let's take Virgil out for a spin. I don't know if I've shown off my Virgil car. But in this car alone, there's more love to the character of Virgil than there is in the fucking Netflix DMC anime. Alright, Smean. I don't think I have you in my contacts right now.
How can
They locked me in a room. A rubber room. With rats. This is a disaster. All right, how much you paying, fuckboy? All we hear is radio pee-pee, radio poo-poo, radio vomit. I'm blowing up vehicles. Shit, baby, I can do that. You better pay me good as fuck for this. We will have a beautiful relationship if you do. They're not prepared for the Clark that is approaching. Who do you think would win in a fight between Clark and Virgil? I think between the two of them, Virgil takes it, unless Clark has Eddie and Mitch with him. If it's a 3v1, then they definitely take it. See, because Clark is like Batman. Like, Clark is smart, but Virgil is just too fast. Clark wouldn't have a whole lot of time to prepare. Clark would shoot him, and then before he realized the bullet didn't work, get probably fucking killed. Or at least be at enough of a disadvantage that he couldn't bring it back. Clunk. Did I say clunk? Oops. I didn't. You just stupid. Okay.
You're not authorized to be here.
You're not authorized to be such a pussy.
Die already. I've got to reload.
I don't know how many bombs that is, but it should be enough. Oh, I missed two. Later. Oh, that was my turn. I remember somebody asking me one time, like, who do you think would win in a fight? Like, Dante or Goku? Okay, that's a great question. Dante. Like, no way. I'm like, yeah, dude. Dante spams Royal Guard and wins. If we assume that they're both at their strongest, Dante just keeps hitting Royal Guard and he wins. Also, let's just consider something else for a minute. Goku has canonically died. Dante hasn't. And Goku's got some funky ass Sensu beans, but Dante's got like
another mother. If you know what I mean. Peace and love. You have done me proud.
I'm gonna blast you in your bald ass head, buddy. Dante just fucking snorts a golden orb and bingo bongo.
That's 3 times reward. Brother, what? I'm tempted to shoot the fuck out of you right now just because you're a little bitch baby. I'll take all my ammo back. Dude, that barely covered my expenses. Fuck you. I'm gonna do another one. Just to make sure. Goku would guard break Dante's Royal Guard? No? No? It's Royal Guard. You can't break Royal Guard. Royal Guard's like rock and rock, paper, scissors. It always wins. You see? And this is why I got into an argument with that person. Because they couldn't recognize rage bait. I still think Dante would win. But, I mean, that's just because I like Dante and I don't give a shit about Goku. Now, actually, I think Nero would kick the shit out of Gohan. Unironically, I think Nero would shit kick Gohan. Oh! You also have to bear in mind when considering arguments like that, or, you know, power scaling shit. Damn, that's a nice car. Shame. That, you know, Dragon Balls has been around since, like, the 1400s. DMC's a bit more recent than that. Shoot a laser strong enough to blow up a planet? Probably. Power scaling shit is so dumb. I absolutely agree. However, I do, you know, giggle when Kiryu just solos all of Fiction because of Tiger Drop. I do think that is a little silly funny. Where's this last car? Yo! Excuse me, officer. Is it actually inside Benny's? I guess it is. Ow! Could Kiryu beat Goku? Yes. Could Kiryu beat Thanos? Yes. Could Kiryu beat Superman? Yes. Could Kiryu beat Kiryu? Well, we've got about 8 games where he's tried, and so far, no. Whee! Well, I'm just crushing Priuses now? This is what I think of your environmental consciousness. Could Kiryu beat Frieza? Yes. Because Frieza would shoot like his super poo-poo explosion beam, and Kiryu would just like step out of the way of it, and then he would kick the fucking shit out of Frieza because Frieza has no honor or whatever. give him a monologue about, like, how that's not the Yakuza way. And then you hear fucking, you know, Crash Addiction start playing, and that's GG's, bro. Could Kiryu beat Peppino Spaghetti? That's a tough one. Because Kiryu's greatest strength, it's like Pokemon typing, is whenever he's like up against unscrupulous peoples. Because for some reason that just pisses him off. Peppino isn't particularly unscrupulous, he's just highly anxious. Could he beat Pizza Face? Yes, because Pizza Face, unscrupulous. So perfect, I want you to do it again. Bro, you better pay me good for this. Could Kiryu beat me? Yes, but only because I'd let him. Oh! It'd be an awkward fight because there's no motive. I mean, yeah, that's my fundamental issue with, well, actually one of my many fundamental issues with the whole power scaling shit. It's like, yeah, why would they fight? Why would Superman fight Goku? They'd just be like buddies. They'd be chill with each other. I think it, you know, Goku would be like, I heard you're pretty strong. Superman would be like, something like that. And then, you know, they might spar, but it would be a draw because they'd both be like, wow, you're tough. Cool, let's be friends. God damn it, son of a bitch. There, that'll make it easier. Could Goku beat Bulk Bogan? No. Who's like the most recent golden boy of power scale wars? Isn't it some guy from Jujutsu Kaisen? And it's sort of like a, what's the word? Like a perennial discussion. Because it's like, you know, who would win in a fight between a Dracula and a werewolf? You know? They were talking about that shit in like the 1500s, alright? I get it. But man, the people who take that shit seriously are fucking weird. One Punch Man gets thrown around. I hate it because the whole thing is that he wins every fight in one punch. Goku would have to pump really strong. Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's also just like complete difference in media. Like, of course, to keep it interesting, Goku's gonna have to do like a new transformation every week. So of course he's gonna be like, could Goku beat Jesus Christ himself? Well, no, but like base form Goku couldn't, but like Ultra Instinct Nutsack Infinity could, you know?
Hi. What service are you looking for?
A blowjob, but not one from you.
You're in serious trouble, and you need my help. Okay.
You would win? Yeah, probably. And, you know, how much of it is genuine, like, you know, these two characters would be a good matchup, and I think this one would win because, you know, evidence or whatever, and how much is just fanboying? Because that's what it feels like a lot of the power scaling shit boils down to, is fanboying. And that's part of the reason I don't do it, is because I'm not immune to that shit. I couldn't make a rational decision because I like Nero. You know, I think Nero could beat anybody because he's my favorite, he's my cool little action figure guy. And whenever he gets shot, I can just sit and look at the other guy and go, nuh-uh, and win. Guy from Jujutsu Kaisen is Satoru Goju. He's neat because he's just got busted powers. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't think Christ was that tough. Bruce Lee would stomp his ass. No, you know what it is? Jesus wins every fight because he just, like... He looks at you with genuine love and forgives you. So you just kind of like break down in tears and go, I'm sorry, Jesus, I forfeit. And so Jesus wins every fight without having to fight at all. That's what I think. He's got like Ghost Rider's penance stare. Except he's not trying to make you feel bad. He genuinely loves and forgives you. I don't even believe in Jesus. I don't not believe in Jesus, but I'm talking like I'm some sort of fanatic. They won't hear this. Jesus was pretty lame as far as God incarnate on earth. His miracles were parlor tricks. His miracles were parlor tricks? He brought a guy back to life! He literally raised a dead man! What are you fucking talking about? Parlor tricks. Water to wine, sure, whatever. Feeding 5,000 people on a couple fish and a loaf of bread? Are you fucking insane? Power scaling religions. Yeah, alright, you tell Lazarus that Jesus wasn't that impressive. You see what he has to say about it. Now I'm getting rage baited. I think I've seen the bread trick before too. What's the difference between... Okay, see, that is a half decent payout. But still, I think it's probably more efficient if I just fucking go through the garment factory. Alright. The blow-up missions probably pay less anyway, whatever. Did Genus bring anyone back from the dead? I thought he just revived himself. That was fake too because Zhuge Liang didn't. Lazarus! Dumbass! You don't have to be a Christian to read the Bible, you know? It's decent fiction. You try dying a virgin at 33 and see what happens. That the guy who stabbed him? I don't read Apocrypha. Yeah, okay, buddy. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to call it here. I could keep going, but I'm kind of hungry, and I think Doobie is still streaming, and I kind of want to go watch her. But I went from like 7.2 milli up to 8, so I'll take it. So since we're leaving on Saturday, I'll probably be streaming tomorrow. I don't know. I don't remember. We shall see. But I'm not going to make any promises because I never keep them anyway. Lazarus is a captain in the Dark Angels chapter. I'm going to beat you. Maybe if I beat you hard enough, you'll become so retarded that it will, like, roll over and you'll become not retarded. I don't beat the mentally disabled. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. I don't do that. I'm not that kind of person. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Thanks for being here. I'm going to grab some food. I'm going to take a piss break, and I'm going to watch some Doobie. I may hop back into... I may do, like, a Discord stream. Just if I get bored. But I'm not making any promises. All right. Take care of yourselves. Stay comfy. Stay cozy. And I'll see you again real soon, okay? Okay. Good night!
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.